Hey guys, Comic Book Sponge here, and in this week's episode of the Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel Collection review, I will be looking at the Ultimates. And make sure you stay tuned till the end of the episode where I pick out random which book I'm going to be looking at next. So starting off, this is done by Mark Miller and Brian Hitch. Basically, just give you a good look at it there. Basically, it's a reimagining of the Avengers. When Marvel started doing the Ultimate Collection, you had Ultimate Spider-Man, and you had Ultimate X-Men, and this is kind of the Avengers version of it. This is number 28 in the Marvel and the Ultimate Marvel Graphic Collection, on the spine. And basically it's issues 1 to 6, so it's the very start, and it goes into the first 6 issues of the Ultimates. So basically I'll just go over the story, just very basically. The first issue starts off with Captain America in World War II, and it basically just explains and it shows how what was going on, and how he ended up being frozen. That's pretty much the whole first issue, and then from issues 1 to 5 it's all about what's his name? It's all about Nick Fury trying to assemble this team of superhumans, and it's run by the government and everything. You know, it's all backed by the government, it's all funded and everything. There's a lot of money going into it. And he gets Iron Man. He tries to get Thor, who's kind of reluctant at the start, but he helps him out in the end. He has Bruce Banner. He has Giant Man, the Wasp, and and Captain America, obviously. And then for the couple issues, just a team getting together, getting to know each other. Bruce Banner is brought on to try and find a way of replicating the super soldier serum that made Captain America, but he's degraded behind Hank Pym, who's Giant Man. He's the guy, the number one scientist for him in that. And basically what happens is, throughout the whole issue, Banner basically is getting a lot of grief for not, making much progress on the serum. He's feeling a lot of pressure, and he ends up injecting himself with the serum to give. He gets a little bit depressed about it. He gets annoyed, and basically there's nothing going on for the team. There's questions being asked about so much money being invested, and they haven't actually had nothing to do for a few weeks. And then basically Banner injects himself with the serum and turns into the Hulk again. Then the last kind of 2 issues is just the team getting together, with Thor coming in the last minute to help out to battle the Hulk. And then it ends. And it kind of ends with a little bit of a cliffhanger between Hank Pym, Giant Man, and Janet the Wasp, which I'll go into later. So that's basically the story, just very quickly running over. There's a lot of other stuff you can read into if you want, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. Just some of the good things about this book, there's a lot of it hasn't been too popular from the stuff I've been reading about it online. Some of the good things in it, the artwork is fabulous. There's some really great shots, very cinematic shots. Like there you have, if you can see that Giant Man like walking over. There's a lot of really good animated or cinematic shots like that. I'll just get another one of Giant Man when he makes his first appearance, kind of fighting the Hulk. The whole page just him holding him up against the building. You can see like the whole kind of landscape of the people in it, which is really nice. There's kind of a shot in it where Captain goes back to visit Bucky. He's been frozen for something like 60 years or something like that, and he's kind of questioning everything. And then he's kind of questioning about what's the point in doing all this. And then he just kind of he looks at the American flag, and it kind of inspires him. That was kind of a little bit corny. Another good thing, it's great to see Giant Man and the Wasp getting kind of A-list kind of run. As I said before, lots of times I don't know a whole lot about comic books, but you don't see the Giant Man and the Wasp a whole lot. They wouldn't be as well known as obviously like Captain America, Iron Man, or Thor, or Hulk even. And it's great to see him in that way. Another good thing, the last good thing I'm going to talk about is the first issue is just all about Captain America, kind of it, and you see him in his glory in World War II. They're coming in on German territory, and he just storms their fort by himself, you know, helping the guys out. And like how he gets like frozen is he jumps on a rocket that's directed for America, and he jumps on top of it as it's flying off, and he just diverts it a different way, and then when that explodes, he falls in the water and he gets frozen. But they find him then later on. There's some of the bad things about this. Usually when I'm reading a comic book, I don't try to find, you know, like bad things and nitpick at them, but there's a good few things on this that I'd like to talk about. Just one small thing is Iron Man gets a new suit in it, which you get, you know, it says that he's going flying around trying out a new suit. Let's see if I can find a picture of it now to get a good look at it. But you don't get to see anything new about it. Like when he's fighting Hulk, nothing happens. You know, it doesn't show. I mean, stuff happens, but it doesn't show him using anything new from it. I don't think. Well, not that I could spot anyway. Oh, there it is. I found it. It's just a quick look. The only thing that's really kind of new is like the helmet that you can see straight away. And you know, it's okay looking like for the normal Iron Man suit. So there's part, and when he gets damaged by the Hulk, he kind of mentions that it has to be charged. So I think that's kind of a new thing in the suit that I don't think it's been seen before. And the reimagining of Thor, he's kind of like a little hippie-ish. He has short hair and like a Meg. And when they try to recruit him, he's anti-government, he doesn't want to work with them that kind of way. And it kind of has like a little following. Like there you go, you see him sitting down and he's like drinking beer with his followers and everything. He doesn't want to join at first, he's very reluctant, but he helps him out in the end because he feels like he has to, just to help out. If Earth's under threat, he'll pretty much help anyone by the sounds of it, if they need it. The book can feel very dated as well. Like they talk about celebrities in it, which is a bit kind of, you know, it's not just like a mention of one or two. There's like they're sitting around the table and they're talking about who would play who in a movie, and it mentions like Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp and all that, and Lucy Liu. And it's just a pointless scene, really. And then there's like a PR kind of speech showing off thing, and the president is in it. And look the show off. It's George Bush in it. So like when was like this 2014 now. George Bush was president in like 2000 to 2006 or 2004 or something like that. So flicking like the thing with comic books, a lot of them you can read. Like I could read this one now and I wouldn't be able to tell from when it's from really without knowing like the author or whoever did the artwork. But when you see something like that, you think, oh, it's 10 years ago now. But if you pick this up 10 years in the future, you say, oh, that's 20 years ago. So it shows age that kind of way. There's no fighting until chapter 5, which is the 5th book. Like the whole first issue is Captain America in Germany. There's a lot of action in that, and then the whole other 3 issues is just them trying to get together and kind of showing a little bit of tension with Banner in it. So you know, it's a bit disappointing. Like the fight at the end is really good, it's awesome, but you're waiting like right till the very end with nothing in between it really. The last thing I talk about is, and this is what really kind of annoyed me about it, if you're a big Hulk fan like I am, you're really going to hate this book. They absolutely destroyed Hulk in this. The animation, the artwork in the book is brilliant, but I think he did a terrible job on Hulk. I didn't like him. He's like bald in it with like little small patches of hair coming out on it. I mean, like I have more hair on my head than he has in this. Like you can see right there, he's climbing up the side of the building. There it is. And he's just bald. And he's looking for Betty because between Bruce and Betty are kind of like on a break from their marriage. And Betty's like a real, you know, kind of bitch in this tone, that kind of way. Like she's really kind of mean and real bitchy. And Hulk is climbing up, and there's a part in this, and he says, and Hulk is going after her, and he's like, Hulk's horny. And I was kind of reading that thinking, oh fuck. And this is like at the very start of it. I just can't find it where it is now, but it's at pretty much at the start when Hulk appears. Ah, there it is. Hulk cornered in it, and then he gets interrupted by Giant Man. That's just terrible, I think. And then when they're fighting, like, he goes through Giant Man, he goes through Iron Man. Captain America comes in on a tank and lands on top of him. The Hulk just destroys that. And then the only way to distract him is for the Wasp, when she's in tiny form, to flash at him. And then Hulk, he's like, Hulk want boobies or something like that. Oh, it's terrible. And then it's not just Hulk. It's Banner. The last time I read about Banner was when Red Hulk came into it, I think it was. And there was that whole thing where, like, all the smartest guys on Earth have to get together and try and do something. I can't remember too much about it. I remember Banner looking really smart, and he's hired by Nick Fury just to get the, what do you call it? The serum to replicate Captain America's serum. And he's under pressure and he can't get it, and he hears the guys talking about him, making fun about him. And then even at the end, like, he gets really pretty much shat on in this. And then at the very end, when they manage to defeat the Hulk and he turns back to normal, he's like begging Captain America not to hurt him near the end. And Captain America goes to give him his hand to pick him up, and he just kicks him in the face. And I know kind of Captain America in this, he's only been back unfrozen for the last like few weeks in it, but he just kicks Banner in the face and knocks him out cold, and that's it then. You know, talk about shitting over a brilliant character. But that's enough about giving out about what happened with Hulk in it. It did kind of end on a bit of a cliffhanger, a small bit, with Wasp and Giant Man, Hank and Jan. A little bit of, like, it's like domestic violence in it a little bit, and it shows him like attacking her, and he puts on the Ant-Man helmet that he's been working on through the whole book, and kind of all the ants attacking her. So it's kind of going to be a little bit interesting to go a bit further. I think the next issue of the Ultimates is in this collection. I looked it up, so it'd be kind of nice to see what goes on there. Yeah, so that's pretty much about talking about the book itself and the story. Would I recommend it? No, it wouldn't be my cup of tea. I wouldn't. I only kind of want to go into a bit further reading to see what happens with Jan and Hank. Other than that, the book is good, you know. It's a very nice book. The only thing is the covers between each book. There's usually like pictures of the covers, and that's not in this one. But it shows them at the very end, like the cover art. You get to see the 6 of them there, which are they're okay, they're not bad. There's 1 or 2 of them that are really nice. You do get to see talks a little bit about the writer for 2 pages, and then the artist as well, Brian Hitch. You know, that information at the end of it is always kind of nice to look at, and a good read. And then there's a heroes gallery where it has like the Ultimate drawings compared to the older ones, which a lot of them, the new Ultimates are nice, but some of them, the older ones, look nicer. I think Thor looks a lot nicer than the older one, the original. Hulk definitely looks nicer than the original. And then as usual, the very last page is, you know, further reading. So not a book I'd be too mad on. You can look it up if you want. There's a lot of references that you can see that were in the Avengers movie and Captain America. So a little bit disappointed, but you know, the fight scene at the end is pretty cool, even though Hulk does pretty much get destroyed and shot all over. So stay tuned till the end and you get to see the next review I'm going to be doing. So let me know what you guys think of the Ultimates. Make sure you hit the like button and leave the comment below, and subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Alright, so I have it issued a number between 1 and 77, and press it 3 times, and whatever the third one is, it'll be the next book. 1, 2, 3, number 56. So let's have a look, see what that is. Issue 56. Secret Invasion, issues number 1 to 8. It's down there. Where is it? 56. There it is, there, Secret Invasion. So that's going to be it for the next review. And stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in that one.